We're going to chain 35. You can add more chains if you want this to be larger. Just make sure whatever number you chain, it is an odd number. Because we're doing a single crochet, they have chain 1 at the beginning of every row. We are doing a pattern that has a skip the first stitch in each row. So because of that, we are going to skip the first 2. So the third chain from your hook, you put a single crochet, chain 1, skip the next stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, skip 1, single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, single crochet. Do that all the way to the end of the row. We're at the end of the row. Last stitch in your chain will be your single crochet. So you will see that you have a pretty loose chain because it has spaces in it. Now after you do your first single crochet, the space that you made with the 2 chains that you skipped, put your stitch marker in that. This is where it gets tricky. If you've been crocheting for a while and your mind gets used to single crochets, always get a chain 1 to start the row. In the moss stitch, each row for single crochets starts with 2 chains. So we will chain 2 and turn our work. If you don't chain 2 and you accidentally chain 1, you will realize it when you get down to the end of the row because your space will not be big enough to put your hook in. So we have chain 2, we turned our work, and you can see that there is a big space right there. We also have, because this was our first row and the first rows are pretty tight, if you crochet in the back bump, it won't be as loose. So you can see when you go down the row that the single crochet from the previous row gives you a little bit of a V. Your hook is going to be inserted into the space right next to that V. So insert your hook right under where your chain 1 was. So each chain 1 from the previous row will give you a space. That's where your single crochet goes. Take your stitch marker put it in your chain 2 space. Chain 1, single crochet into the next space that's right below your chain 1, chain 1, when you're inserting your hook, make sure that both the front and the back loop from your chain is on top of your hook. The way the stitch looks when you're crocheting, and especially if you start crocheting fast, it's pretty easy to get your hook in between. So make sure that you're going right in the open space. This is a repeat pattern of single crochet, chain 1, and single crochet into the space. So you're still skipping a stitch like you did in row 1. You're skipping the single crochet and you're crocheting into the space, and you will do that for every row until you reach your desired size. Make sure that you chain 2 at the start of every row, and make sure that your first single crochet in each row is in the space that you made and not in the single crochet. Okay, this is where your stitch marker is going to come in handy. So your stitch marker is going into your chain 2 space. It is not going to go into your first single crochet stitch. You want it in your chain 2 space because your last single crochet when you get back down here is going to go in that space, and that's how you will keep your rows straight. Okay, we're going to finish this off. Do a slip knot. weave in our ends.